Welcome back, everyone. We are now entering a hopefully brief special meeting of the town council and to consider two items on the consent calendar. And Michelle, I believe you should take a roll call for this meeting. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I will. And I was just thinking that we might want to give a few moments for the people who were attending the other meeting to log into this one as well. I see.
Okay. You can go ahead and take the roll call, I suppose, while that's while we're waiting for that.
So this is the town council special meeting if you're just joining us, and I'm taking the roll call. Council Member Cutrano.
Present.
Council Member Kohler.
Present.
Council Member Goddard.
Here.
Ooh. Vice Mayor Hellman.
Here.
And Mayor Ackerman.
I'm still here.
Okay, everyone's here.
Okay. Let's go ahead with the approval of agenda and affidavit of posting for this special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and a roll call vote for that, please. Madam Clerk.
Councilmember Kohler.
Aye.
Councilmember Cutrano.
Yes.
Councilmember Kohler. Councilmember Goddard.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hellman.
Yes.
And Mayor Ackerman.
Yes.
All ayes.
Okay, so I'm inclined to go ahead with the consideration of the consent calendar, which has two items on it. We've got just a few people from the public, but it's these are consent items as they appropriately could be. Is any discussion of either of them or comments from the staff before we?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, this is Janet. I have one addition to item number 1. It doesn't need to be pulled or anything. On Exhibit A, which is the agreement, page 1, section 2.3. It's called retiree representations. We need to add at the end of the last sentence, I believe it is, unless an exception applies. Those words, unless an exception applies, and we will do that. We will add that language into the agreement.
Okay,
Janet, it's actually the second to the last.
Second to the last sentence?
Right.
Right, you're right.
I missed that. Where I'm looking at, what page is it on?
It's on page 1 of the agreement, section 2.3. The second to the last sentence.
So after where it says during the 2021-2022 fiscal year.
Right, where it's talking about the 960. So unless an exception applies is the language.
I see that. Okay. Okay, do any council members have any questions about either of these items? And then we can go to public comment on the consent calendar. Okay, hearing none, let's open up public comment. Michelle, if you would do that, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. If anyone from the public has a comment on either of the consent items, now is the time to raise your hand. I do not see any raised hands.
Okay, we'll close public comment.
Oh, I'm sorry, one just went up as I said that. Okay,
Yes.
and that is Mark Bell. You are unmuted now, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
Michelle, this is not directly related, but it is related. When you have these projects which aren't named, I didn't have a chance to read the packet. I mean, I go back to Cascade Drive. That ended up costing the town what? The last figure I heard was 60,000. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But we were told it wasn't going to cost us anything. And then we were told the entire thing was illegal from the beginning. So I'm just kind of curious when I see how many projects are here are being bundled 5 separate projects are being bundled, and I'm not seeing oversight on those. I'm not seeing descriptions on those. And I just go back to Cascade. That was never approved by the council. It was snuck through by 2 council members and the former manager. So that's my point. I would like to see some discussion of what these projects are, and if you're all familiar with them, and if you actually do all agree, because the other one snuck through, and the town should be reimbursed for that Cascade fiasco. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mark.
Are there any other people who wish to comment on consent? I do not see any, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we'll now close the public comment on the consent calendar. So just a clarification, if I may, my understanding is that actually the town manager does have a $60,000 limit, but that this is actually in the interest of transparency and of keeping the council informed, enumerating some larger items, which we already talked about in a previous meeting when we went through capital expenditures and got an excellent presentation of what's on the table. And these all tend to be items that the townspeople have been interested in getting done. And so I think it's actually good news for everybody that due in large part to having an excellent interim town public works director, things are moving along. So that's my understanding. Barbara.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, the town manager has authority up to $25,000.
Oh,
And what we're doing here is, it's beyond 60,000 is when you have to go to all the design spec. But I just want to reiterate that the staff report does discuss each project, and to also reinforce what you just said, which is this was discussed at a prior meeting when Jonathan Goldman gave an explanation of many of the things that he was engaged in. But the staff report also very briefly elaborates on each. So I think it's pretty clear. Thank you.
thank you. Any other comments?
No,
Or,
I would be very happy to make a motion.
okay,
To improve the entire consent calendar, correct?
I would like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
And I would second that motion with the one change that the town attorney mentioned.
Thank you.
okay, motion Goddard and second Caller. Michelle, could you please take a vote on that?
Yes. Councilmember Cutrano,
Yes.
Councilmember Kohler,
Yes.
Councilmember Goddard,
Yes, and with thanks to our new interim public works director.
Vice Mayor Hellman,
Yes.
and Mayor Ackerman.
Yes, and my thanks as well.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe that concludes, and we will therefore adjourn our special meeting for tonight. And that was a good meeting earlier, so thank you all.
So I want to thank you guys for ending the earliest ever record-setting early, and it's all for my birthday. So thank you.
Yay.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.